Congratulations to the Kansas City Chiefs. Congratulations to the Philadelphia Eagles on a great season. And congratulations to you, Eagles fans, if you made it to this part of the season. This is when you know that you are a die-hard fan. We are going to start talking about mock drafts. So this is mock draft 1.0. I did no trades. I stood where we were. And obviously we don't know who's coming back. So I kind of just went off my gut feeling and took the best players we could. So let's get into it.
You want Philly?
Yeah, let's do it.
What's going on, you guys? It's your boy Joe Castro, aka Philly Fresco, and it is Philly the podcast. So today, like I said, we're gonna go through this mock draft. It's the first one, so we're gonna see where we land, man. Obviously, there's a lot of good players in this draft, and we got some holes to fill. So we're gonna hop right into it. Before we do, be sure to hit that like, hit that subscribe, join the family. We are on the road to 5K. Would love for you guys to join that ride. Now, also, if you guys want mock drafts like all the time on Twitter, I'm always posting random mock drafts. So definitely go on over there, check me out at Philly TP. But let's get into it, man. So the first guy I got coming off the board is Joey Porter Jr. from Penn State. Guy got size. He's got, athleticism. There's a lot of positives with Joey Porter. I feel like, obviously, you got the pedigree of his father being an NFL player and everything. But you also have the technique. Joey Porter had his best year with Penn State this past year, but it's always been something that he knows how to play the position. I mean, from just a footwork standpoint, his hip flips, his fluidity in his transitions, you see a kid that knows what he's supposed to be doing out there at the position. So I love what Joey Porter brings. I think that the cornerback position is a position, whether or not you decide to bring back a James Bradberry, we're looking at paying $26 million on the cap to a Darius Slay. That might get changed up. That might get reworked. But I think cornerback, especially for the future, is something that you want to figure out for a cheaper rate than what we've been doing it for. So I think that Joey Porter comes in and is honestly probably your day one starter, probably your number one cornerback as soon as he comes in here. Might be a better option than Darius Slay right away. We'll see. I mean, that may be a hot take, but we'll see what happens. I just think that Joey Porter comes in and gives you that versatility that you needed. I think that that's really what he can do. A little bit of everything. Now, negatively, he doesn't necessarily have that top end speed, right? He's not going to go out there. He's not a track star. He's not going to be the guy that you put on a Tyreek Hill and expect him to just run a straight with, run a straight zero with him. He's not going to be that guy, but it is all right. I think that his technique and how he plays the game is what's going to really help him excel at the next level. So Joey Porter at number 10, I think that that's a good pick for the Philadelphia Eagles. All right, so now coming off next, we have another guy that I really like. This guy, I didn't know if he was going to be eligible. There was something going on with his eligibility, because he was an Army player. There was I don't know the full story, but apparently Joe Biden signed something, so now he's eligible. He's going to be in the draft class. So I want Andre Carter. Now, honestly, he might jump up draft boards, due to the fact that he is now eligible. People are going to probably be looking at him a little bit harder. And I think that once he gets into the actual, draft process, he's doing some pro days and everything, I think eyes are going to pop open for this kid. He has the crazy explosiveness. He has very, very good play strength, and he's like 6'7". This guy is somebody that I think goes on your edge and becomes a day one impact maker. You obviously already have a Josh Sweat. You have Hassan Reddick coming back. Maybe you bring a Brandon Graham back, but this is a guy that will, especially in a rotational situation, I think he will just shine. I think his talents will shine, and I think it also gives you the time to kind of refine a little bit of his technique. Give him a little bit more when it comes to his pass rush moves. I think that he can only grow from a situation like ours, and I think Andre Carter would be an absolute steal. Absolute steal. I have us taking him at number 30. So I love Andre Carter. I think that we're going to be looking for a defensive lineman, whether it be edge or whether it be defensive tackle. So I went ahead and got one of the best defensive ends, in my opinion, in this draft. I think that he's one of those top guys, and I think that he will probably move up a little bit in the draft. If we can get him at 30, though, pull the trigger, Howie. I would love to get Andre Carter on this team. And as I said, we're going to be looking for these defensive line players. You're looking at a lot of guys on this defensive line either aging out or probably just not coming back, right? You got a lot of guys that we added during the season that are definitely most likely not coming back. You look at Robert Quinn, I doubt he's going to be getting another contract with us. Linval Joseph, Ndamukong Suh, right? You can go down the list. Jordan Davis hasn't been bad, but he has not played up to his potential, in my opinion. I don't think that he's been making especially after his injury, I don't think he's been making the most of his snaps. Obviously, next year, he's probably going to be the lead dog. It's time for him to really show, but I wanted to add to this defensive line and especially that interior, so I went ahead and got a Brian Young. Now, why did I get Byron Young? I obviously, Bama, you got that Alabama connection. We like those Alabama players now. But this kid has amazing play strength. The physicality that he shows on tape is crazy. And honestly, I think if you look at the Eagles, especially in this playoffs, I mean, in the Super Bowl, right? We weren't physical at the line of scrimmage. You can blame it on the field. You can blame it on whatever it was. But even throughout the year, our run game was always kind of a concern. We stood around the middle of the pack towards the end of the year, adding Linval, adding Ndamukong Suh, definitely boosted that run game. But it was definitely something that we had to worry about. I think that we need a big dog, a cog in the middle of that line to just muck stuff up, especially when Jordan Davis isn't on the field. Now, Byron Young, a lot like a Jordan Davis, maybe doesn't offer you the most in the way as a pass rusher, but I think that you can get there. He has good enough athleticism that I feel like he can get there, especially in our type of system. He might be seeing a lot of single team. He might see a lot of opportunities where he can take advantage and maybe surprise us with his pass rush capability. But right now, I don't think that that's what we would be drafting him for. I think that he's a big, strong body in the middle of that line, and I think that's honestly what the Eagles could definitely use right now. So I got us getting Byron Young with our first, second-round pick. I like this pick. Now, a free agent that realistically, I don't know if he's coming back. I don't know if he's going to be gone. I wouldn't mind having him back as TJ Edwards. Kaiser White, I think he's probably gone. I think Nakobe Dean will probably be the guy that replaces him. Maybe Nakobe Dean replaces TJ Edwards. We will see. But at the end of the day, I think that linebacker is a position that we are going to be looking at, whether in the draft or maybe an undrafted free agent situation. I went ahead and took care of it in the draft with a Jack Campbell out of Iowa. This guy has been uber productive throughout his college career. Last year, I think he had over 120 tackles. I think close to 140. I'm not 100% sure about the exact number, but he had an amazing amount he had a crazy amount of tackles this in his college career. I think that Jack Campbell is a guy much like TJ Edwards. He has probably better speed than TJ Edwards, but he is just a solid tackler. He's not going to miss much tackles. He's going to make the play. He's going to go from sideline to sideline. He's going to be a guy that can definitely hold down the middle or maybe even one of the sides of your defense. He has the speed to be in the middle. He has the speed to be on the outside, in my opinion. But he also is just a productive player. And when you get to this point of the draft, you have to get guys with the upside, with the production, and I think that you get that in a Jack Campbell. I like this guy. He has the size. Again, he has athleticism. He has the speed. He has all the tools to become a very, very good, if not great, linebacker in this league, and I think that's what the Eagles need. I've been one to say that we are not a team that likes to, for some reason, hold on to our good players, and TJ Edwards is slowly falling into that category of maybe he's a little bit too good to play the linebacking position for the Eagles. Makes no sense, but that's just where we are as Eagles fans, so I took Jack Campbell. Now let's get into the last round, 7th round. So as we enter the last round, I'm going to go ahead and show both of our picks here. I took Malik Cunningham out of Louisville, the quarterback, and I took Bumper Pool out of Arkansas, linebacker. Bumper Pool, I think, has uber upside. I think that this kid is somebody that can be really, really good in this league. I think that he was a little bit overshadowed by Drew. Obviously he's a highly touted prospect in this draft, but I think Bumper Pool brings something very, very unique. I think that he can be a guy that is utilized as a rusher, utilized as a conventional linebacker, and I think he can bring a lot to this team. And, it's going to be I'm not saying a day one start or anything like that, especially when you get down to this point in the draft, but I think he's somebody, you give him a year or two along the lines of Alex Singleton, right? It took him a couple years to get it going. And now look at him in Denver. You look at TJ Edwards, it took him a couple years to really get it going. I think that Bumper Pool could be along that same line. I like all the physical traits that he has. I like what I see on tape. There's some things that he could definitely improve upon when it comes to, technique and just tackling. But I think that he's a good project player, and why not? Why not? Now, Malik Cunningham, people are probably going to be like, why are you doing this? He was very productive in Louisville. He was very productive. I think like 50 touchdowns to 18 interceptions, something along those lines. He was very productive. He has a little bit of athleticism to him. I like the kid. I mean, I'm not sitting here saying that he's going to take over for Jalen Hurts, but if you look at the Eagles and you look at what they do with this organization, they like to groom guys, right? You look at Gardner Minshew, he's probably not coming back next year, and they like to groom guys that they can possibly get a better pick for. So this is a guy that you take him in the 7th round, maybe 2-3 years from now, you're looking at a 4th, 5th round pick, maybe even higher if you're able to make him, a realistic prospect. And not only that, you have a guy that you can groom behind Jalen Hurts if, God forbid, anything does happen to Jalen Hurts. So I think that Malik Cunningham makes sense at that point in the draft. I wouldn't be surprised if they went with a quarterback late in the draft. Wouldn't be surprised if, again, it was something undrafted. Now, looking at this, like I said, I took Joey Porter, I took Andre Carter, I took Byron Young, Jack Campbell, Malik Cunningham, and Bumper Pool. I would love to get an offensive lineman in this draft. Maybe a tackle to, take over down the line for Lane Johnson. Maybe a guard to take over for Isaac Seumalo right now. There's guys in this draft, not guards I have to look a little bit deeper into, but offensive tackles, there are a couple guys that might be in that 2nd, 3rd round, that could realistically be an option. So I wouldn't be surprised if maybe a Byron Young is switched out for an offensive lineman. Maybe an Andre Carter is switched out for an offensive lineman. But this was Mock Draft 1.0. We'll get to the other ones. We'll get to more mock drafts. We'll get some trades going. But I just wanted to get the fuel going, get you going, get your systems working. And it's time for mock draft season. You know what I'm saying? But other than that, you guys let me know what you're thinking. Tell me your mock drafts. Let me know what you thought of mine. And other than that, y'all know what it is, man. It is Fly Eagles Fly. And we are out here. Peace!
Eagles fans everywhere, this is for you.
Yeah. Fly Eagles flying on the team. Touchdown. Time to get Jalen this ring. You don't really want to start a thing. This a Bird Gang Nation, baby. It's a Philly thing. Hater, and you looking like you type trash. I'm just here calling on Philly the podcast. And we can call a man dog or watch Miles score off the handoff. Rest of the division, your man saw Jackson like Sean, hunting like Randall. Season hit.